Hey, Vinland Saga fans, this is Chris Bolts coming in with a video. All good things must come to an end. As you can see from the title, Vinland Saga manga to end with next chapter on July 25th, completing a 20-year civilization. But before I do get into the content, do make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All that good stuff really helps me out. Now, one of my live streams yesterday, or speaking with one of my regulars, J Bro, and he was telling me about the Vinland Saga is getting ready to come to an end. I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Vinland Saga? Because I'm thinking the anime just seems like it's just starting to get started up. And then I said, no, he was referring to the manga. Lo and behold, you know, like I said, all good things must come to an end. Vinland Saga is actually one of my favorite anime, and a few months ago he was asking me, hey, name me what's one of your best anime of all time, and I had a really hard time coming up with that. But then once I started talking about Vinland Saga, I was like, man, Vinland Saga would probably be up there as one of my favorite anime of all time, because I really love the character development of this character, Thorfinn. He starts off as an angry young lad, and he has every reason to be angry because his father pretty much gets killed right in front of him. And then he gets adopted by his father's killer, Askeladd, who raises him. And Thorfinn, all during that time, he is just stewing in his own hatred for this man that killed his father. It pretty much is his entire reason for existence at that point in time, that he's plotting to want to go ahead and kill his father's killer. But once Askeladd dies in a vein of glory, killing the Viking king, taking that Viking king's head off and whatnot, because he was conspiring with the Viking king's son so that the son could become king. He gets killed right there in front of him, and then Thorfinn rather is sitting there thinking, man, now I don't have any reason to live anymore. And that's when he starts doing a character inversion and goes from being a young child of anger and hate and violence to a man of peace. He becomes a devout Christian and swears off all violence heretofore. And I was just saying, one of the most powerful scenes in the anime is when Thorfinn wants to visit the king, the new king, and wants to talk to him, but no one would allow him to go forward. And he comes face to face with this really giant warrior that says, hey, you take 100 of my punches, I will let you go ahead and visit the king. And Thorfinn's like, yeah, okay, let's go. Go ahead and take I'll take your punches. And of course, we gotta understand, Thorfinn is only about 5'5", 5'6", 160 pounds, but he's taking those punches from that man like a champ. And the crowd of all these men, all these warriors, they're all just sitting. He's in a circle getting beat up. Thorfinn, at the beginning, they're laughing at him, they're taunting him, they're telling him that he can't do it. But over time, as a small time lapse, they're all just standing there and they're just looking at Thorfinn. They're no longer laughing, they're no longer smiling. They got their arms folded and they got this look of respect. And as Thorfinn's attacker, he's wearing himself out with all the punches, but Thorfinn is still just taking him. He still has not gone down. And then eventually every man there earns the respect of every man there. And he had definitely earned my respect. As that scene's playing out, I'm just sitting there with my arms folded and I'm just there like this, man. I said, yeah, that is the man I completely respect. I completely respect Thorfinn. Vinland Saga is one of my favorite anime of all time. And of course, right here, the creator, Makoto Yuki Miura, is basically confirming in an X post is, have all the fans already heard that there's a break this month and that it's the final chapter as expected? Sorry for the late announcement. Vinland Saga will be taking a break this month, and the final chapter, chapter 220, will be released next month on July 25th. There will be an official notice in this month's issue of Monthly Afternoon. And then he follows up again, sorry I couldn't finish this month's manuscript in time. Right now, I'm working on the final chapter. I truly apologize for taking breaks so often, but this will be the last break. The final chapter is tough, for some reason, the artwork is taking a lot of time too. I'll do my best. Now, this is all understandable. The creative process is a daunting one. I'm in the middle of my book. I finished the first draft. I called it a final draft. I sent it out to a few hybrid publishers. I even sent it to a publisher, but the publisher didn't give any response. But a lot of the hybrid publishers were really quick to jump on and said, "Hey, yeah, we'll go ahead and publish your book." And something about it just felt off. I said, "This doesn't feel right. That these guys are so eager to publish my book. And this is my first book, mind you." And I'm thinking, nah, you guys sound a little too eager. And so I decided to pull back, and I sent it off to a beta tester. There's this one beta reader who graciously decided to go ahead and read my book. She gave me some pointers on the first chapter as well as my first few chapters, and said, "Hey, pretty much I took that advice in, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go back and rewrite it." So now I've gone right back to the beginning. I've got chapter beats, character beats, world building, building up my Bible and all that. So I can certainly understand Yukimura sitting there saying, "Hey, the final chapter is tough." He's at the end of a 20-year journey of research of Viking history. By the way, leave it to the Japanese to create one of the best interpretations for Western culture. I don't know. I know that we have Vikings, and I know that we have there was a really good movie that came out, The Northman, which was a really good Viking tale. We got Vikings, the show, and then we had a really good reinterpretation of Norse mythology. I forgot the name of that show, but the ending turned out to be really weak. It was on Netflix. Okay, so I just brought this all up right here. So look at all these Viking shows right here. We have the Vikings, we have Vikings Valhalla, Viking Wolf, Norsemen, Seventh King Must Die, The Last Kingdom. We got Vinland Saga, Outlaw King, but Ragnarok is the one that I really liked. My wife and I, we really liked this show, but then the ending was just atrocious. So Vinland Saga, there's Vinland Saga right there. Where was it? Vinland Saga. I just saw it. Here it is, right here. There's Askeladd right there. I tell you, out of all these, I would watch this one multiple times there, because that is a really good, it stands up there with all these other ones right there. So Makoto Yukimura, he did a really good job with this. Hopefully he sticks that ending, and that's probably another reason why, because he's like, dude, maybe I didn't even think about what I wanted my ending to be. At least for my book, I know what I want my ending to be, but it's the journey trying to get to that ending to make everything seem like it makes sense and it falls into place. But yeah, I can certainly understand his creative process and wanting it to make sure it's really good, make sure he sticks that landing. But at the same time, it's bittersweet because this is 20 years of his life that he's dedicated to this one story right here, telling the story of Thorfinn going from being an angry young man to one that had found peace and solace through his religion and faith. That's another thing. This is also a really good Christian story. If being a Christian, if you're a Christian and you want to see a good story of redemption, that's this story right here, Vinland Saga. And so Anime Corner actually did an interview with him. There is a really good line that Thorfinn speaks. He goes, "I have no enemies," and pretty much that's exactly correct, because during the entire time, Thorfinn was just he just was a killer, and he killed without remorse. When he was a kid, he killed without remorse. The only true enemy he had was Askeladd, and then when Askeladd died, all of his enemies just went away, and he just said, now I have to find a different reason for living. And he found that different reason for living while being a slave. He became a slave, And during that time period, that's when he found his faith in Jesus. So Vinland Saga coming to an end, and I have to go in there and I have to buy this series. It has been compiled into 28 volumes. And here's the other thing. Usually when an anime starts off with one studio and then it switches, it doesn't really bode well. But I'm gonna tell you this right now, Wit Studio really set everything off with the first season, but then when Mappa came and took over for the second season, they hit it out of the park. They were able to follow the beats of Wit Studio without any drop in quality of animation, music, tone, theme. It was just seamless. Both of these studios, Wit Studio and Mappa, are really good studios. And so yeah, I have nothing but high praise for Vinland Saga. And I haven't read any of the manga, but it feels bittersweet that it's going to be ending here pretty soon. I can't wait for season 3. In fact, let me see when if there is going to be a season 3. Because wait, I know that there's going to be a season 3. I just don't know when it's going to be coming out. Let me pull up this Fandom Wire article. And nope, I don't. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about season 3 here or anything like that. So yeah, we still haven't gotten any announcements for Vinland Saga season 3. I hope that it's going to be coming around soon. There was a 4-year gap between season 1 and season 2, but that's probably because there was a switch in studios. Hopefully it won't take that long to get season 3. We're already just 2 years after season 2, so hopefully around the corner pretty soon that we'll be getting that season 3. But jump down in the comments and let me guys know what you guys think about the bittersweet ending here for Vinland Saga. Are you guys sad that Vinland Saga is going to end? Have you even read or seen Vinland Saga? If you haven't, I highly recommend you watch this anime. It is absolutely great. But those are my thoughts on that. Go ahead, once again, jump down in the comments and let me know what you think. And make sure you guys do like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All that good stuff helps me out. And remember, this is Chris Boltz signing off, and I will catch you guys in the next video. You take it easy.